After almost a year, I had my first child, and she's now in a mental hospital. The whole new story. I spent almost 40 years of my life with my wife. I didn't think she would leave or cheat on me. It wasn't perfect, but I loved her a lot. Friends of ours cheated on each other, and she always said she couldn't see herself being with anyone else but me. She went to see her folks a week after our almost 10-year anniversary. There were lots of red flags, but I believed she loved me. She never worked in years, had a personality problem, and was always right. These were all signs that she was a drug addict. Guys and couples would message her about hooking up and having sex. She would tell them they were bothering her and just being nice, so they would ignore the sex talk. I should have known better, but after 15 years or more, you really think you know someone. She called me every day except for the day she broke up with me. I knew something wasn't right, and when she called, she was gaslighting me. She told me I had to leave the house that day and lied about having kids for almost 10 years. There would be more threats. She finally came to talk after being called by the cops several times in a few days. It took a while, but I finally found out she messed around. I found drugs in her bag even though she lied about having them. I saved the vids and texts because she was also in a chat group. It made me feel sick. That was the strangest behavior I've ever seen. Thanks to my job and family friends, I was able to divide up my things in 24 hours. The fight that followed made me think about what she did to other people, telling me what to do like I'm a slave trying to put me down. She tried to tell me that my health problems were caused by drugs. It wasn't. It has to do with worry and trauma. After being sent back home more than 5 hours away, she had to leave behind the place she was living and her pet, whom she loved more than herself. Now I'm back with my parents for a few months, leaving me alone. I have a great job and friends who are there for me. I feel like people are just being nice when they tell me I look better since I broke up with her. There's something wrong with her. She didn't even cry. I thought I had made it through at one point, and we could work it out. But she went for a drive, and when she got back, she was cold again. I even learned that she wanted me to leave the house so that the gross people she cheated on me with could come over. It seems too soon and like I'd be cheating if I went on a date. However, I want to begin a new life. I go to the gym and take a drive or a walk every day. My friends have been there for me. I have banned her from everything because seeing her name makes my blood pressure go up. But I wish I could stop being so angry. I can't because she doesn't feel sorry. To be honest, I just needed to let off steam. The person I thought would always be there for me was the worst person who ever hurt me. It's not easy for her to be friends and act normal after what she did. I wish I could email her and tell her how I feel, but she wouldn't hear me. Today I'm going to get rid of my wedding ring. I know that holding on to it is like holding on to something that will never happen. That relationship I had was a lie. I wish I could stop being so angry, but I can't. Why the hell do you no longer care about someone you've known for 50 years? Time to update. Though it's hard for someone my age, almost 40, my ex-wife is determined to have the last word. I've been doing better gaining weight, going to the gym 3 times a week, and getting some extra money. A lawyer sent me a cease and desist letter that never had to be signed for and didn't give me a due date to respond. It was mostly about her ego and telling me to stop telling people what she did. A lot of it was false. The number of spelling and grammar mistakes was the best part. The lawyer is real, but he doesn't get much work, and I think he sent this to make a few $100s. I didn't bother to answer. She wanted an answer, but I wasn't giving it to her. After a few days, she started bothering my friend who I gave our pet to. She didn't say she knew her, but it was clear that she was worried about the animal. That animal was just something she didn't care about. She wanted to get rid of it the day she told me things were over. To try to show she can get away with what she wants, or to act like she cares seems like a small thing to do. My friends won't talk to her ever. I wish this would end soon. I'm pretty sure she has a personality problem that is on the borderline. She takes many drugs, smokes a lot of weed, drinks a lot, and stays up all night talking to other weirdos who don't have jobs. To keep me from doing anything about her talking to my friends, she'll spend hundreds of dollars on a bad lawyer. I want to move on, but she only cares about how she looks. Even though I know she's sick, I hope she gets a life or a rude wake-up. Any help or words of support would be great. Change 2. Just a pointless rant, I guess. I still can't believe some of the stupid things they ask for after it's over. It wasn't long after D-Day that she learned money doesn't grow on trees. She asked if she could still borrow the car every weekend to run errands and get groceries. This happened after she tried to kick me out of my own house, taking my pet, which I loved like a kid, bragging about getting into trouble with other people, and making threats against me with her friends. To keep me in line, she would also tell me to pick up boxes or dishes and put them in certain places. They are rude, pointing, and demanding that I do it out of the blue, asking to take tools and equipment, etc. I don't know if anyone else has been through something like this, but it makes us laugh now. When you're not what they want, it shows me what they're really like. The next update. Even though I tried not to talk to them, we both had friends who like to talk about other people. They told me today that my ex-wife is seeing someone else. Didn't want or need to hear that. Even though I'm glad to be away from that toxic lie and cheater, it still feels like being hit in the throat. She left and said it was to work on her mental health, but it was clear that wasn't the reason. It seems like the last lie. The next few days will be tough. Change. Thanks to everyone. I didn't get much sleep last night, but the suggestions and advice from everyone helped. The next update. I have not written in a while. My ex-wife put a terrible spell on our lives 4 months ago. Letters of cheating, abuse, threats, etc. Even though I focused on good energy and tried hard, I still had panic attacks whenever I was by myself with my thoughts, especially at night. I asked if it was too soon to date in a post a few months ago. Thanks for the tips, everyone. I did it, and I'm glad I did. Very happy. I'm not going to say too much, but we got along great. We always agree on what kind of future we want, and I've never had sex that made me feel so good physically and mentally as I did with her. Every day we talk for hours. Some people might say it's too soon, but we're so into each other that we don't want to see anyone else. Things get better. There's always someone new to meet after a breakup. I still think about my ex, but I don't feel anything for them. I feel bad that I spent so much time on her. It makes her sad that her new boyfriend might be a good person who doesn't know what he's getting himself into. But I don't care about that. I can't wait to hold my new girlfriend at the end of the year and finally feel like I have a reason in life. You'll get through this. Change, thanks for the cash. You folks are great. I'm grateful for both the support and the worries. I agreed that it might be too soon, but in a reply below, I gave a more detailed reason. This wasn't something I jumped into quickly, it felt right. We're both taking small steps, but I can say that it helped me see how bad my old relationship was, and that there is a better life out there for everyone. Last update, it's been almost a year I have my first child, and she's in a mental hospital. Even though I don't think my posts were very interesting, I thought I'd write one more to give someone hope. In August 2020, my wife of almost 15 years, a woman 38 years old, left me. By going into chat rooms she liked, I found out she had been talking to other men, women, and other acts. After telling me for years that she wanted kids, she tried to lie to me and say I was using her for kids. I was kicked out. They tried to ruin my life and made me give up my pet, who was like a child to me. Once, I got a letter telling her to stop what she was doing from a lawyer who didn't even bother to spell check it. It basically said I couldn't defend myself in private talks with her. After September 1st, 2020, I never heard from her again. It hurt that she hurt me mentally, emotionally, and sometimes physically. I had lost my way and thought my life was about to end. I even thought about speeding it up. I wrote in late October that I was seeing a girl I knew. About half of the people who told me it was too early to start dating said I should do it. I'm glad I did. We are still together, even though things have been rough at times. A few weeks after my divorce was complete, I had my first child. After a year, my life has changed in ways I never thought possible. It's nice, my ex-wife. A few months ago, she called me on a personal line. She told me she was in a mental hospital and had tried to kill herself. She also said she had been diagnosed with bipolar disorder and borderline personality disorder. I told her and her family that she was acting crazy during the breakup, but they laughed at me. She told me about her sad story and then went on to talk about the guys and girls she slept with. She asked about getting back together, so I think it was to be honest and start over. I told her right away that I was getting ready with someone else. She tried to tell me she could be a good co-parent with me, even though it hurt her. I also shot that down. Since we didn't talk much during the breakup process, and for things we wanted to give back to each other, I have no desire to ever get back with her. Even if I wasn't dating anyone, she now understands that my life is better without her. It hurts her deeply, and I'm okay with that, even though it sounds silly. She didn't feel bad about hurting the family she killed. I don't feel sorry for her. So now you know how I felt after D-Day. It's not getting better. I know how empty it is. I didn't think it was possible, but every morning my lovely daughter and her wonderful mother smile at me. Do not give up. I'm glad I didn't. Let us see what the community thinks by leaving comments, and more information from the AP. Underappreciated 54 puts us in the mood. I've been following your story since the beginning. Good for you. Your ex-partner is not useful and has a lot of stuff to deal with. She now knows what happened because of what she did. She is now by herself and can see you and your new family. You won't have a great future if you mess around and make your husband feel bad, and then your family talks badly about him. They can now all tell her that she threw you away, and that you now have a happy family while she has nothing. As the op said, thanks, I'm glad you remembered my posts. I'll be honest, before she called from the hospital, I always wished I could watch her face when she heard I was seeing someone, and going to have a baby. It felt good to be able to tell her that while she was in the mental hospital. Even though I never meant to hurt her, I feel like I should have told her that she destroyed my life, not the one we had together. It's funny because her mother called me right after the call from the mental hospital to say that her daughter is doing so much better and that my call helped. Then he said I hit on some strange girl. The timing doesn't make sense, which makes it look like I cheated and my lover was pregnant for longer than 9 months. When my child was born, she called me again to tell me how happy she was. This woman helped my ex-boyfriend do bad things. She doesn't care about my life, she's just helping me to feel good about herself. I did not answer when she called. Spinocula has another quick thing to say. The op replies, perhaps 5 years before D-Day she was going to groups and seeing a doctor for childhood trauma, but I knew that wasn't it. Sometimes she just did too many strange things. I learned to spot manic attacks. She barely stood out the last year we were together. She took out a lot of loans, couldn't keep a friend for more than a few months, threatened to kill herself, and other things. She was hooked on medicinal drugs and some illegal ones. She wanted a new sports car because she thought our SUV made her look old. When I told our family doctor about it, she said she couldn't do anything to help her. She always believed she was right. In the end, it was just bad memories from childhood. The most sad part was when they broke up. I told her that she needs to get help, because she was going crazy. When she called from the mental hospital, she agreed with me, but the damage had already been done. She also still lies, as shown by the fact that she uses her illness to control people's emotions and stays at home on long-term disability. There was nothing I could have done to change that. I wish I could have helped her more. If I was lazy, I think it would have turned into an open relationship, and she would have been with someone else in the end. There are times when people think they could have done more. But most of the time, they can't. The last word comes from Butterus Mantequilla. Where is your pet, though? Who has the pet? The op ends things. When I put her in the cage and heard her cries, it broke my heart. I had to scrub her fur off of everything to keep from crying when I thought about her. I was lucky, though. She may have gone to the best home I could have asked for. I also made a new friend.